Welcome to your third training module in the Volunteer Basic Training Series, Finance and Safety. Before we dive in, let's briefly go over what you can expect as a new troop leader. This is the third of 3 training modules you'll complete before you meet with your troop. This training module, Finance and Safety, will walk through how to fund your fun and keep your girls safe. The other 2 training modules are Welcome to Girl Scouts, which introduces you to Girl Scouts, being a troop leader, and what girls do, and Logistics and Resources, which will teach you how to run your troop meetings. After completing these 3 training modules, we will ask you to complete a knowledge check. Once you've completed the knowledge check, you'll receive an approval letter in your email. This email will provide more information about your service unit, grade level training, and additional resources as you get started with your girls. We'll start by talking about troop finances. Throughout this module, I'll go over the basics of troop finances. Often, I'll point you to Volunteer Essentials for full details, policies, and instructions. Volunteer Essentials is the primary GSUSA and GSWNY reference document and should be consulted for finance, safety, and planning guidelines and procedures. Volunteer Essentials includes all policies to ensure that your troop is functioning with your local and national guidelines. By agreeing to be a Girl Scout volunteer, you're agreeing to follow the items laid out in this resource. This handbook is updated yearly. You can find the most current version on our website under the Volunteer tab. Helping girls decide what they want to do and coaching them as they earn and manage money to pursue their goals is an integral part of Girl Scouts. Troop activities are powered in 2 main ways: troop dues and money-earning activities. Startup funds to cover the cost of supplies and activities come from troop dues. Troop co-leaders can decide how much dues will be and how to collect them at the beginning of the year. Ask families what they feel most comfortable with during your first parent or caregiver meeting. Each girl or family could pay $1 to $2 per meeting, or you could ask for a one-time due of $20 to $50 at the beginning of the year. At your parent caregiver meeting, you can also ask for families to donate supplies to the troop, like markers or scissors. Girl Scouts also has 2 primary council-organized money-earning activities: the Fall Product Program and the Cookie Program, beginning in the wintertime. The benefits are twofold. These programs allow girls to learn essential business skills while providing key funding to your troop. With the support of your service unit volunteers, each troop will build a cookie team to ensure the program is enjoyable and successful. After attending the troop leader cookie training, as well as working with your service unit product program manager, you'll feel confident and ready for your troop to participate in the fall and cookie programs. Keep an eye on your email. We'll send you lots of great information for how to participate in the fall and cookie product program sales as they arrive. Now that you know the 2 primary forms of funding your troop's fun, troop dues and money-earning activities like the cookie sale, you'll need to open a bank account. If you're taking over an existing troop, you may inherit an account, but with a new troop, you'll need to open a new account. There are a few steps to this process. First, complete the Volunteer Basic Training Series and take the knowledge check. Once that's been completed, you will receive the bank letter from GSWNY's Volunteer Experience team. We will talk more about that on the next slide. Then, you'll need to connect with your service unit finance consultant to find out which banks the service unit typically uses. Their information will also be included in your approval letter email. Next, you'll identify 2 unrelated individuals to be signers on the troop bank account. Married couples are considered related in this instance and cannot be the 2 signers. The third signer must be a member of the service unit leadership team, most often the service unit finance consultant. These policies and procedures are outlined in detail in Volunteer Essentials. Be sure to consult this document as you open your troop bank account. You will receive a bank letter in your approval email after you've completed the Volunteer Basic Training Series and Knowledge Check. The bank letter gives you the Council's federal tax ID number to supply to the bank. The letter also authenticates your identity as a GSWNY volunteer. Follow the printed instructions on the letter, open the account with the troop volunteers, and keep a copy of this completed letter. If the bank has a question or needs additional information from counsel, please have them contact our Chief Financial Officer via the contact information on the bank letter. You can open a bank account at the financial institution, including credit unions, that's most convenient for the troop volunteers and service unit volunteer. Each bank may have specific requirements for opening accounts, but all will require a photo ID for signers along with each signer's social security number. This is a federal requirement and is for identification purposes only. The council's tax identification number is the number that is associated with the account for income tax and legal purposes. When you open your account, you must include the name Girl Scouts of Western New York and the troop or group number or service unit name. Once you've opened your bank account, you will need to report your bank account information to council using the Troop Bank Account Reporting Form. We'll send you this form in your approval letter email once you've watched all 3 training modules in the Volunteer Basic Training Series and completed the knowledge check. A minimum of 2 signers is required for withdrawals, and troops are prohibited from using internet banking, except viewing the account online. Please note that if a troop or service unit utilizes debit cards with the account, the bank will only require 1 signature on checks. However, 2 signers should still sign all checks. This is a GSW&Y requirement and is part of our internal checks and balances that assist in the prevention of misuse of funds. Debit card receipts should be signed by a second signer after the purchase is completed. Debit cards are allowed, but credit cards are not permitted to be issued or used with the troop bank account. Security of troop funds is essential. The bank account should be reconciled monthly and all transactions reviewed. Best practices are that more than one individual manages the account and reconciles to the bank statement. If this isn't possible, a timely review process should be in place where a second person reviews the bank statements and reconciliations. Be sure to keep all of your receipts. These will be important to have on hand when you complete the mandatory online Troop Financial Activity Report, or TFAR, detailing the troop's income and expenses. We'll talk more about this on the next slide. Troop funds are for the benefit of all girls in the troop and should be spent in the year the funds are earned, unless the troop has a long-range plan for spending the funds. It's important to note that the funds belong to the troop as a whole. Per IRS guidelines for charitable organizations, troops are prohibited from keeping separate individual girl accounts or tracking troop funds by an individual girl. So what qualifies as a troop expense? You might spend money on things like program supplies, such as paper, crayons, and craft supplies, as well as copies of GSUSA books or leader and girl use. Fees for field trips, refreshments and paper products, uniform components, badges, patches, pins, photocopies, paper and printer ink for printing troop paperwork, troop organizational needs such as totes, binders, folders, leader trainings that enhance troop programming such as first aid or CPR, outdoor training, health and safety supplies like masks, hand sanitizer, surface cleaner, or registration fees for girls and or leaders for events. That's a lot of stuff, and funding it shouldn't be overwhelming or come out of the troop co-leader's personal funds. That's what troop dues and money and earning activities are for. You'll record your troop's ongoing expenses and income and submit your annual finance report through the Finance tab in the Volunteer Toolkit pictured here. You'll remember from a previous module that you can access the Volunteer Toolkit through your MyGS account on our website, gswny.org. Once you're inside the VTK, you'll click on the Finance tab. I'll go over the basics here, but remember, we have detailed instructions for recording and reporting your troop finances in the volunteer section of our website, as well as in Volunteer Essentials. Both co-leaders in the troop will be able to access the Troop Finance tab through the Volunteer Toolkit. There you'll record your ongoing troop expenses and income. We recommend that you update your troop finance balances at least monthly. This will allow parents and caregivers to be informed on the troop's financial status. Regular updates will also make the end of the year report submission quick and easy. Once per year, all troops are required to submit their financial activity through the Troop Financial Activity Report, or TFAR. This mandatory report includes your April bank statement and should be submitted any time between May 1st and June 1st. Please do not submit this report outside of the state range. This process provides an opportunity to make sure that the girls' money is being spent appropriately and to check in with the troop leaders to verify that they are keeping all their receipts and documentation. Remember, troop funds are for the benefit of all girls in the troop, and the bank account should be managed and safeguarded so that the troop has maximum benefit for their efforts and minimum exposure to fraud or other losses. We will be in touch with you as the window for submitting your TFIRE approaches, and will share detailed instructions. If you have any questions regarding this process, please reach out to your service unit finance consultant. The SUFC will have answers to all of your VTK Finance Tab questions. Once you've completed the Volunteer Basic Training Series and taken the knowledge check, you will receive the GSWNY Tax Exempt form from the Volunteer Experience team. This tax-exempt form will allow you to make purchases for the troop without paying New York State or local sales tax. Please do not share it with anyone, and remember, it's only for troop-related expenses. On the tax-exempt form, the leader will write her name and signature in the space provided as an officer of the organization. In the space for title, write Troop Leader and include your troop number. We recommend making several copies of your tax-exempt form. You will need to give the seller a copy with each purchase you make. Be sure to read Volunteer Essentials for detailed procedures for using the tax-exempt form. In addition to money-earning programs organized by the Council, such as the Girl Scout Cookie Program and Fall Product Program, older Girl Scouts, juniors and above, grades 4 and above, can participate in group money-earning activities organized by the troop. Additional money-earning activities might include collections like a Christmas tree recycling, meal events like a lunchbox auction, or services like raking leaves, weeding, or shoveling snow. If you're considering participating in money-earning programs outside those organized by Council, be sure to read Volunteer Essentials very carefully. There we list sample money-earning activities and outline all the necessary guidelines. You will need to complete an additional money-earning activity application at least 1 month prior to the activity. As you think about additional money-earning activities, remember, GSWNY prohibits games of chance. Any activity that could be considered a game of chance, including raffles, bingo, or other contests, are prohibited. After completing this portion of the training, you might be feeling like managing troop finances is a big job, and that's okay. To make things easier, we've compiled all of the resources you might need when working with your troop's finances. Under the Volunteer tab of our website, you'll find Volunteer Essentials, as well as troop finance forms, information on financial assistance, and much more. In the final section of this module, we'll go over the resources and procedures you'll need to use to follow to keep your girls safe. A safe space is where girls feel that they can be themselves without explanation or judgment. As a volunteer, the environment you create is just as important as the activities girls do. It's the key to developing the sort of group that girls want to be part of. Cultivate a space where confidentiality is respected and girls can express their true selves. Before your troop can meet, you must have 2 approved, unrelated volunteers, one of whom is female, in place as co-leaders. It's important to note that married couples are considered related in this instance. Adult volunteers must be at least 18 years old and must pass a criminal background check before volunteering. As a reminder, 1 co-leader in every troop must be female. From camping weekends to cookie booths, adult volunteers must always be present to ensure their girls have fun and stay safe, no matter the grade level. Not sure how many adults you'll need for your activity? This volunteer to girl ratio chart ensures that you always have the right number of adults to support troop activities and keep the girls safe while they enjoy everything Girl Scouts has to offer. This chart can be found in Volunteer Essentials. We recommend keeping it handy so you always know how many adults you need to keep your Girl Scouts safe. For example, you'll see that for a Daisy troop with 12 girls at a regular troop meeting, you'll need 2 unrelated co-leaders, one of whom is female. If that same Daisy troop with 12 girls heads out on a field trip to the zoo, they would need a minimum of 2 additional volunteers to go along. These supervision ratios ensure the safety and health of girls. For example, if one adult has to respond to an emergency, another adult is always on hand for the rest of the girls. It's important to note that on this chart, volunteer refers to a registered, approved adult with a current background check who has completed council-required training. Troops must have a minimum of 2 approved volunteers who are unrelated, who do not live at the same address, and are not in a significant relationship, at least one of whom is female, who have completed council-required leader training. In addition to these volunteer to girl ratios, the safety activity checkpoints outline a standard for safety expected at meetings and other Girl Scout activities. It also provides specific guidelines for approved Girl Scout activities such as camping, archery, horseback riding, and just about any other activity your Girl Scout might want to try. You can find the safety activity checkpoints on our website, gswny.org, under the Volunteer tab. There may be times when you worry about the health and well-being of your girls in your troop. We take your concern about a girl's well-being and safety very seriously, and we will guide you in addressing these concerns. Contact a staff member at GSWNY and find out how to refer the girl and her parent or guardian to experts at the school or in the community. Call 911 if an emergency occurs during a Girl Scout meeting or activity. Then inform GSWNY as soon as you are able. Please call our emergency answering service if the emergency occurs after business hours. That emergency number is 1-800-882-9268. At least one registered volunteer in all troops must be first aid certified before leaving the troop meeting place for field trips or other outings. We encourage co-leaders to be first aid and CPR certified, but another troop adult may fulfill this role. Some of your troop caregivers may already hold a first aid and CPR certification and might be excited to help out. GSWNY offers first aid training throughout the year. You can find these on our website, gswny.org, under the Volunteer tab. You can also become certified with an outside vendor like the Red Cross, or you can get trained through your service unit if it's offered. The qualifications for a first aider are found in Volunteer Essentials. Because Girl Scouts uses resources wisely, you may choose to carpool. Every driver must be an approved volunteer at least 21 years old and have a clean driving record, a valid license, and registered or insured vehicle. Girls never drive other girls. If a group is traveling in one vehicle, there must be at least 2 unrelated, approved adult volunteers in the vehicle, one of whom is female. Be sure to check out our most recent COVID-19 guidelines to ensure carpooling is safe and approved. These guidelines can be found at gswny.org. Permission slips are a communication tool that help girls feel safe whenever the activity they want to do is beyond the troop's normal meeting time and place. The permission slip communicates to the girl's family where they'll be going and what they'll be doing. It also allows the family to communicate not only their permission for the Girl Scout to attend the activity, but how to get in touch with the girl's emergency contact if that becomes necessary. You should utilize the annual permission slip with COVID-19 liability waiver for any non-meeting activity, which can also be found on our website, gswny.org, under the Volunteer tab. It's important for you to be aware of any medications a girl may take or allergies she may have, which is why having a health form for each girl and adult in your troop is necessary. You maintain these records for your group. Medication, including over-the-counter products, must never be dispensed without prior written permission from a girl's custodial parent or guardian. Some girls may need to carry and administer their own medications, such as a bronchial inhaler or an EpiPen or diabetes medication. Keep in mind that information from a health examination is confidential and may be shared only with people who must know this information, such as the girl herself, her parent or guardian, and the emergency healthcare worker during an emergency situation. The health form helps you be able to be aware of common food or environmental allergies so that everyone in the troop can have a great experience without being at risk or feeling left out. Even Girl Scout daisies and brownies should be aware of their allergies, but double checking with their parents and guardians is always a good idea. All GSWNY volunteers must consult the current COVID-19 guidelines for in-person meetings and activities and the safety activity checkpoints for virtual meetings prior to planning and review any related webinar recordings. Please ensure you are familiar with the most updated COVID-19 guidelines. View our current COVID-19 guidelines on our safety page on our website. You should utilize the annual permission slip with COVID-19 liability waiver for any non-meeting activity, which can also be found on our website. Thank you for completing this Finances and Safety training module. If you haven't yet, you will need to complete 2 additional brief trainings, Welcome to Girl Scouts and Logistics and Resources. Then, please take the knowledge check online to receive credit for completing the Volunteer Basic Training series. Once you've taken the knowledge check, you will receive an approval letter in your email. This email will provide more information about your service unit, grade level training, and additional resources as you get started with your girls. Thank you so much for completing your Volunteer Basic Training series and for being a troop leader. We're thrilled for you and can't wait for this next adventure.